Uncle Charles was awesome. He was great. I got a song out of that Johnny Cash thing that I'm going to get to in just a minute. Real quick here, I'm going to tell y'all a little quick one about Uncle Charles. He was that uncle that everybody wishes they had. He was bad to the bone. I remember one time down there at the swimming hole, he swam out because a gator, a little small gator, it was about 4 feet long, a gator had come up in the swimming hole, and he swam out there, grabbed the gator by the tail and drug him out and throwed him up in the back of his pickup truck and drove him down the road about a mile so us young'uns could go in swimming. Another time, a water moccasin swam out and got up on the lily pads. And Uncle Charles went and got a tire iron out of the back of his truck and slipped on his flippers and swam out there to it and hit it in the back. Tried to hit it on the head. If y'all ever seen a cottonmouth laying on the top of the lily pads with his mouth open, it's white on the inside. It's a scary looking thing. Uncle Charles hit that thing and then grabbed him real quick and come swimming back across the swimming pool, slinging him around like this here. And come up, got out of the water, and he throwed him up in the woods. And I said, why was you slinging him around? He said, I wasn't sure that he was dead, and I didn't want him to be able to swing back and bite me and hurt me. He was not to be trifled with. I remember all of us loved him. He taught us young'uns how to play football, how to run pass patterns. You know, five and across was run downfield 5 yards, plant your foot and turn to the inside and bam, catch a bullet pass right in your eye. He explained it taught you to get your hands up, to be ready at all times. And he taught us how to run the post pattern, which was run downfield about 25 yards and angle to the inside. And Uncle Charles would throw the perfect spiral pass, and you'd run, because you wanted to please Uncle Charles. And you'd run, and just about the time the ball hit your hand, bam, you'd hit the back of a pickup truck or a pine tree or a telephone pole, or he'd run you through a dip in the yard, knock the breath out of you. But as Uncle Charles explained, it taught you how to take a good hard hit and still hold on to the ball. Sure, there was broke ribs, broke arms, but we all learned how to play hurt. And if you don't know how to play hurt in this world of woe, you ain't never gonna have no fun. And Uncle Charles made sure that we all had fun. He was awesome. He didn't limit his lessons to the boy children. He also taught my cousins, Sivy Jane and Pinky Joe, how to play football. And let me tell y'all right now, Sivy Jane and Pinky Joe, you don't fool up with them too much. You don't get between them and what they want, neither. They're strong women. And they know how to navigate this world. My cousin Pinky was the first Republican to be elected in Franklin County, Florida since 1856. That takes some doing. She's an interesting woman, very, very successful. And I'm sure she owes a whole lot of it to Uncle Charles. He'd tell us ghost stories. Scared the shit out of us. And I can remember the one that he told the most was about old Nub. And it seems that Nub was kind of the town drunk, and I reckon about 150 yards out behind Grandmama's house, out behind Grandmama's outhouse actually, the train went by back there. And Nub he'd jump that train and ride it down to Tallahassee to hang out with some of the other hobo friends of his. And seems that one night he didn't quite make it as he was jumping the train, and he slipped under it, and the train cut his arm off about right here. And he lived the rest of his life without that arm, just had a nub there. And he died and was buried in the graveyard right across the road from Grandmama's house. And it was one of them old North Florida graveyards with the live oak trees and the moss hanging down. And Uncle Charles told us that Nub on the new moon would come back looking for that arm. Boy, he had us young and sitting there. Is it the new moon tonight, Uncle Charles? No, it ain't the new moon. If you can see the moon, it ain't the new moon. The new moon is when there ain't no moon. If you can see a sliver of it, it ain't the new moon yet. I'll let y'all know when it's the new moon. One night, see, I had to sleep with Uncle Charles when we went down there. They didn't have but 2 bedrooms. And I was in bed with Uncle Charles. He would tell me, we'd get down there in the winter, and he'd tell me, he said, I'm gonna set the electric blanket up so high tonight it'll burn you to death. He was awesome. He would fart under the covers and hold your head under it and say, don't smile or it'll get on your teeth. It was one of them nights. It was one of them nights that he had done that, and he'd hold my head under the cover, and he said, I'm a little bit worried, Chuck. Now this was cause for concern. Uncle Charles worried was a big deal, because he wasn't scared of nothing. And I said, I was holding my teeth and lips on him. What are you afraid of, Uncle Charles? He said, the night's the new moon. I said, no, Uncle Charles, it's not the new moon. I thought I saw the moon. He said, you can look, but it ain't out there. It was a perfectly clear night, and you could see just the shadow of it. It was indeed the new moon. He said, what's got me all worried here is that Nub has done been yonder to Aunt Willie Gus's house, and she's been to Edna's house, and he's been down there to Madge's house, and Uncle Sonny's house. And he didn't find the arm nowhere. It's the only place he ain't checked. And I said, okay, Uncle Charles, but what are you afraid of? He said, well, all them years ago, when Nub missed that train and fell under it, I heard him squall. And I went out there to see what was wrong, and I got that arm. I figured he wasn't gonna need it no more. And I've had it hid up under this bed all the years. And I'm saying, no, Uncle Charles, you did not do that. No. Yeah, I do. I got it right here. I said, no, you fooling me, Uncle Charles. And about that time, he reached under the bed and he got a turkey leg with an old claw. And he laid that claw right on my face. And I grabbed hold of it, and it felt like old bony arm. I didn't know. And I'm screaming and hollering. I woke everybody in Wassissa up. And Uncle Charles going, Remember, he waited till I got good and asleep. He very, very carefully rolled me up in that electric blanket like a little mummy. Rolled me up good and tight and took me across the road, laid me down on Nub's grave. And he got off in the azalea bushes and went to going, And I woke up and it felt sure enough, I mean, all I could see was no moon, a bunch of moss hanging out, and it felt like something had me. I thought Nub had me. And I'm screaming and hollering. I hear Uncle Charles out there going, nee. Now, I know that there's some of y'all sitting out there thinking that he's plumb hateful, but let me tell y'all something. I know how to stay ready. I know how to keep my hands up. I know how to hang on to the ball after taking a good, solid hit. I know how to play hurt. And I can find my way home, even on a dark night when I'm scared to death and crying.